What's going on, people? Flick here, coming at you from the Flick Edition. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while and dedicate a whole video to it, and that is non-scale victories. Because I think it's something that we all, if we're on our own journey, whether it's weight loss or something else, we all tend to sometimes forget to look at it and forget to use it as a tool to help us keep going and to motivate ourselves. And I think it's really, really important. So if you're interested in seeing my non-scale victories and some of my thoughts on things, stay tuned. So first of all, in the last 8 months or so, I've had it pretty rough. I have moved house, which was a really big headache, lots of personal stuff going on, and adjusting to a new life, basically. And that in itself caused me to really be hard on myself and not focus on the little things that I was before and I was really proud of before, and it was making me very, very depressed, and it was triggering me a lot. And a few of my amazing friends, would remind me, look how far you've come, blah, 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 and they are right. And thanks to them, I have reminded myself that there are I've had tons of non-scale victories, and I keep having them, and it would be important to jot them down. So I hope that whatever I say in this video, some of you might be able to resonate with, or it might remind you that you've got your own non-scale victories. Whether it's weight loss related or something else, there is non-scale victories with everything in life, in my opinion, and it's really important that we focus on them. So I'm just going to go through and tell you what my first non-scale victory was back when I first started my weight loss journey. So my first non-scale victory, a lot of people kept, complimenting me and everything, which was lovely. I wasn't expecting it, but they were complimenting me on the way that I looked. And for someone like myself that had been looking in the mirror every day of my life, it was very, very hard and took a lot longer for me to personally notice changes that other people all around me were noticing. So that was really hard for me to take those compliments on board because I wasn't seeing them. So my first non-scale victory wasn't actually what everyone else was complimenting me on. It was something so small, and it just kind of shocked me. I got into the car one day, and my stomach, my gut that I'd always had, wasn't touching the steering wheel. And I thought to myself, my chair's probably pushed all the way back, and I'll move it a bit forward or whatever. Because before, I'd always had my chair pushed all the way back because my gut would touch the bottom of the steering wheel. Anyway, I realised that my dad had been in the car before me, and he's a lot smaller than me, and he'd adjusted the seat. So it wasn't pushed all the way back, it was adjusted to my dad. And I was really surprised. I was so happy. I just remembered staring down at my gut, and I'm just like, holy shit, my stomach is not touching the steering wheel, and I didn't have to, and it wasn't because it was pushed all the way back or anything. I could actually move it forward a little bit more. That was my first big win for me. That made me so happy, and it might be something that not a lot of people think of, but that was incredible for me, and that was the first time I noticed that my body was slowly starting to change. After that, I then started to very slowly notice that some of my clothes I had been wearing for years were starting to get a little baggy, not tons, but a little bit. And that was something that I noticed because some of the shirts that I was wearing really didn't fit me properly at all because there was no clothes that would fit me, to be completely honest. And so I did notice my clothes then starting to get looser, and more people starting to say, I think you need some new pants. And I'd be like, nah, because it was hard for me to, get my head around that all the hard work I've been putting in was actually physically changing my body. And that was hard for me. So that was incredible that I did have to start to buy new pants, or I did have to, I did notice some of the shirts were a bit baggier or something, and that was probably the next one that I noticed. After that one, I noticed that I could stand up for a little bit longer. Before I started losing weight, I couldn't stand up for more than 5 minutes at a time without my back feeling like it was snapping or breaking. I would stand up for more than 5 minutes at a time, but I was constantly in chronic pain, and I tried my best not to complain about it to anybody, but it was really uncomfortable 24/7. So that was amazing. I could, do something so little as stand up and wash the dishes without needing a chair to sit down on because my back was killing me, or something like that. You know, I could do the smallest things that everyone else might take for granted. I could do a little bit better. And it all started out small, and that was incredible to me because I could walk for a little bit longer without needing to sit down. I could, you know, stand up for a little bit longer without needing to sit down and without the pain. That was the next huge non-scale victory that I noticed with myself, which was definitely very helpful because the pain was driving me to tears most days of my life. The next thing that I definitely noticed was my mental state. My mental state, although I still have issues on and off now, it is nowhere near how I used to be. And the lows aren't as low and they're not as long as they used to be, I guess you could say. So that's progress. And yeah, I definitely noticed that my mental state was picking up dramatically. I could find myself being happier, easier, and for longer as well. Overall, I felt so much better. I still had anxiety and stuff about things and public and whatnot, but at least the little non-scales when I was at home or something, I just felt happier. Whereas before I was just super depressed, super miserable all the time, and I couldn't shake it, and it was very hard and very distressful and everything like that. So that was incredible that I noticed that I had more energy and I mentally just felt a lot better than I was. And I still have a long way to go with that, but for the fact that I noticed it was getting better was another non-scale victory. Another thing that some people don't realise, I have been playing guitar since I was like 4, and I always learnt how to play the guitar while being a big child. You know, stubby fingers, big fingers, whatever. I managed to figure out my own way to teach myself how to play guitar, and I've been able to do it perfectly fine. There are some songs I've never ever been able to play, and that always, frustrated me because I knew it was because my fingers were just having a bit of trouble, not touching another string or something. But that was another thing I noticed, was that I could pick up the guitar and play it easier. I could start to play little bits and pieces more easier than I could have before, and that was incredible because I love guitar, I love music. It's one of my meditations that I do, and that was incredible and so exciting. And like I said, I could always play guitar before, but it was just nice to be a little bit easier to play some things I couldn't before, because the fat on my fingers was shrinking down. So that was really nice. I can finally, one of my other non-scale victories, which unless you're a Metallica fan, you won't know, but I can finally play the intro to Fade to Black by Metallica. And that's it's a song that I've always wanted to learn, but I just never could properly because my damn fingers. So that's incredible to me. So again, something so small might be insignificant to some people, but to other people it can mean the world. To me, it means the world, and it means that I have just been doing the best that I can, and I'm slowly seeing results. Another thing that I think was really important, that was something that I really didn't think to focus on a lot, but I ended up noticing it when I didn't mean to. My panic attacks and anxiety attacks that I would get when I would go to my psychologist, walking in on my own and leaving, I would always start to get this noise and thudding in my head where it was like a tunnel going, and it was horrible. I'd get dizzy, it would make me ill, and I knew it was a panic attack, one of the side effects of a panic attack, and it drove me insane. I hated it, my heart would race, everything like that, and I just need to run straight to my car. Well, only actually maybe a couple of months ago or something like that, I walked out one day and I noticed that I got all the way to my car without that happening, and I was like, holy shit. It's just a fluke. So, I didn't think about it too much, and I went the next time and I noticed the same thing. It wasn't there anymore. So that was incredible to me because it was just one little thing that no one else knew, because no one else could see my head doing this, but I could, and I could hear it and I could feel it, and I knew it was going on, and it was so important that I recognized that it wasn't happening anymore, because it was another thing that just made me smile a little bit more and be proud of myself. So that was something really small that, again, no one else would be able to recognize or notice, but I did. And I think it's important to talk about because there are a lot of non-scale victories that the outside world won't necessarily see, and they don't necessarily have to, but as long as you know it, that's what's important. If you know you've done something that you've never been able to do before, or you've achieved something, or something that used to be really, really hard for you isn't so hard anymore, be proud of yourself. Why the fuck not? Like, seriously, it's an important step in life to learn to be proud of yourself. Don't be a cocky asshole, but be proud of yourself. It's important, and it helps you get to where you're going in life, no matter what it is. Job, weight loss, mental health, friendships, relationships, doesn't matter. Everything helps if you learn to love yourself and be proud of yourself. And that's a huge thing that I've learned since starting my weight loss journey. You know, other things that I probably should have thrown in with the seatbelt is seatbelts in the back seat of the car always never fit me. Anytime someone would tell me to sit in the back, I'd have a panic attack because I knew that their car was going to start beeping because I couldn't put the seatbelt on, it wouldn't fit me. And that would cause me so much embarrassment and anxiety. But I don't have to worry about that anymore because seatbelts in the back seat fit me. They're still like a little bit tight, but nowhere near. They can actually go on, I can be comfortable, and that's incredible because now if someone says sit in the back, my anxiety is slowly going down because I know there's a much higher chance that the seatbelt's going to fit and it's all going to be fine. So that's something important to remember as well. Another thing that was incredible to me was that when I unfortunately had to go to Queensland a couple of months ago because my auntie passed away with my mum, I didn't have to ask for a seatbelt extender on the plane. Now, I hadn't been on an airplane for like, I don't even know how long, maybe like 10 years or something like that. And the last time I did was dreadful. I had to ask for a seatbelt extender. It was very embarrassing. But this time I didn't have to ask. I fit in the seat perfectly. And that actually made me so happy and cry because I didn't really feel like everyone was looking at me like, oh my God, how are you going to fit into that seat, or this or this or this. I just felt like just me. It was so amazing that I didn't have to ask for a seatbelt extender, and something so small, again, lifted my spirits up so much and reminded me that even if I'm looking at those scales and they're not budging that much, my body is changing. And I have to remember that it's not always about the scales, and I think that's really important. And another really big issue that I have had my whole life that I also did talk about on the documentary for SBS, The Obesity Myth, was something that, although I may have seemed lighthearted on the documentary, it's a pretty embarrassing, serious issue that I have faced my whole life. And the only thing I would know how to do would be laugh at myself because everyone else was usually always laughing at me. But now that's starting to change, and it's incredible because I know I'm not the only one out there that might have done something like this by accident or been in that embarrassing situation before you where you kind of just feel like you want to die or something. But I don't have to worry as much anymore about sitting on different types of chairs or am I going to break that chair? Am I going to fit in that chair? How long before it breaks and I'm on my ass on the floor and everyone starts laughing and staring at me, as much anymore because I have not broken a single chair since starting to lose weight. And it's been incredible. It is, again, something so small and so simple that no one else would really give a second thought to because it's not something they need to deal or worry about, but for bigger people like myself it is. And I have broken a lot of chairs before and I'm not proud of it. Definitely didn't do it on purpose. It's horrible. It is a very degrading feeling, and for the fact that my brain, it's taken a long time for me to get like that because I still stress sometimes, but it's, once I sit down, I realise it's all right, I can sit my whole weight on it. I don't have to try and not get all my weight on the chair because it'll break. I don't have to do that anymore. I can take a big breath and be like, oh, it's okay. So that's a huge thing for me that, again, probably not a lot of other people would think to worry about, but some people do. Just a quick note to any of my good friends that I have broken chairs in the past. Thank you very much for helping me up and still loving me regardless, and still letting me come over. I appreciate it, and I love you. Thank you very much for supporting me, no matter what size I was. So that's all the non-scale victories that I can actually remember. I know there's tons more, big and small, but I just can't really remember them all. But they are the ones that have stuck out in my mind that I do remember, and I just wanted to talk about them because I think it's really important that if you're on a journey, no matter what it is, it's really important to not just to get obsessed and focused on one aspect of it. There is a very broad range of things in life that you can focus on, that it's important to focus on. And personally for myself, and my weight loss journey aspect, or my mental health, it's non-scale victories. And things that don't, you aren't defined by the number on that scale. That's the hardest thing for anyone to do, because you kind of get into that mindset after a while. We're like, shit, the number's not doing what I want it to do, I just give up. Sometimes you can get like that, but don't, because we've all been there. I have too. I go through it quite a lot, but I have to remind myself, and that's what this video is doing for not only me, but hopefully some of you, is that you have achieved so much in whatever aspect of your life that you are doing. If you can't see it and only someone else can, or if you can see it and no one else can, it doesn't matter about anyone else. You are the one that matters. So another huge thing that I have learned, that I'm going to finish off this video with, is that I learned to put myself first for the first time in my life while doing this journey. Not in a selfish way, not in a malicious way, not to be harmful to other people, but to do it for myself. Because I never did. I would always run after everyone else. I would always drop everything and put, whatever I was doing at the time second, and to help them. And sometimes it would be reciprocated and sometimes it wouldn't. And I wouldn't care that much if it wasn't reciprocated, except that I realised after a little while I was just being used by quite a lot of people. And I'm better than that. And for me to be able to say that about myself to myself was incredibly hard. Not that I hate those people, but I don't deserve to be treated like that. And when I started putting myself first with this weight loss journey, I have noticed how much happier I've become, how much happier I am, how much healthier I am, and how much better I just feel about myself as a person, and actually feeling like I want to be and that I deserve to be here living on this earth. That was incredible. That's a big demon that a lot of people didn't realize how often I faced every single day with my depression and mental health. And it still pops its ugly head into my head sometimes, but I'm a lot stronger now to keep fighting it off and not giving up. And I just want you to all know that if you've got your demons, which everyone's got some, don't give up. Try your best not to take it out on other people and be malicious, but you can put yourself first without being an asshole. That's basically what I've learned. And I think it's really important. And yeah, so putting yourself first and loving yourself for who you are and accepting your flaws and failures and not comparing yourself to anyone else, that's another huge one. Life is not a competition. You can't go through life comparing yourself to other people's failures or successes, because you're you and they're them. That's it. The world is full of diversity, and I love that because the world needs that. So there is only one of you, there is only one of me, and that's life. And that's perfectly beautiful and perfectly okay. So just always remember that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've gotten something from this video that you can take away and implement into your own life. I just want to thank all of my subscribers for sticking around. I know I'm extremely inconsistent with YouTube. It's not my full-time job or anything. It's just a hobby that I love to do sometimes, and when I can, I like to do it. So I just want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for all my supporters, all my friends, people I know, people that I've, just met or don't even know that have been messaging me with support the whole way through. I just want to say you're incredible. I hope you do well on all your journeys. I love you. Thank you very, very much. And I wish you all the best of luck in your life with whatever you do. And just remember that if there's one little bump or 10 little bumps in the road in your journey, that it's not a good enough reason to stop. You can slow down, but don't stop. because it'll clear eventually. Right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Flick out.